This is my home. This is my kitchen. This is my family. Tilly. Jack. Holly. Megan. And of course, my wife, Tana.
You may think you're the busiest person in the world, but over this series, I'm going to prove it's still possible to cook stunning food at home. My rules are simple. Home cooking has to be easy. It's got to be fast. It's got to be delicious. So, if you think you can't cook amazing food at home, think again. These are the only recipes you'll ever need.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Whether it's at my restaurants or at home, I think food should always stand up and be noticed. It doesn't matter if the dish is light and delicate or full-on and gutsy. The flavour should be distinct and clear, and that means always getting the maximum taste from your ingredients. Today, it's all about vibrant, muscular food. So, fasten your seatbelt for my ultimate breakfast, lunch and dinner, packed with big and bold flavours.
First up, a punchy breakfast of merguez and fontina stuffed croissants.
The flavour there is incredible.
For lunch, a spicy Mexican soup.
Be adventurous, but beware.
Served with quick tortilla chips and a pico de gallo dip.
Maggie.
For dinner, I'll be setting the world to rights with my eldest, Megan.
You're so annoying.
I'm so annoying.
When we make one of her favourite dishes, crispy roast duck with pancakes and black bean dipping sauce.
Seeing as it's your favourite, now you can make it.
Followed by a spiced banana tarte tatin.
Wow.
Boom.
These are my ultimate recipes for a day bursting with a big and bold breakfast, lunch and dinner. Starting with a breakfast that can't fail to wake you up. Merguez and fontina stuffed croissants.
OK, big and bold. When I was living in France, I stayed there for 3 years. Once, twice a week, I treated myself to the most amazing, bold breakfast. And it started off with these beauties here. Merguez. Cheap, but incredibly tasty. Start off with a nice hot pan. Merguez in. It's a very spicy sausage. Doesn't need any help, doesn't need any chili, just a touch of salt and pepper. You can smell the spice. They're starting to release all that wonderful oil, that flavour in there.
Add a couple of cloves of finely sliced garlic.
Spread the garlic across the pan. It instantly changes colour. Takes on this nice, dark, rich, golden colour. Now, take a look with the heat out with the parsley.
The stalks of soft herbs like parsley and coriander can be used to impart flavour during cooking, but the leaves should always be added just before serving to give maximum colour and fragrance.
And then finish that off with my capers. Amazing. All right. Beautiful. Now, take your croissant. They're literally 24 hours old, so they're crispy on the outside. And just slice off the lid.
This recipe is a great way to use up any leftover croissants from the day before.
I used to cringe when I saw the French cooks throw away croissants. I used to cry thinking, oh my God. Have you any idea what you're throwing away in terms of flavour? Whatever you do, do not wipe out that pan. Dunk your croissants, mopping up all that amazing flavour and caramelising the inside for that beautiful. And don't forget the lids. And then get your thumbs and go inside the croissant. All I want to do now is just create a little pocket and just manipulate the croissant. Now, this is where it gets exciting. Mix up the capers, the garlic, and the sausages. Look at the colour of that wonderful, delicious flavoured oil. Now, some cheese, but not just any cheese. Fontina cheese is like the #1 cheese for grilling. And because it's a very rich cheese, you shave it thinner than you would a white truffle, but it gives a really nice saltiness and a light smoky flavour. A touch of pepper, a bit of salt. Place these big boys on the tray, literally 30 seconds, on the grill. Here we go. Nice. Crisp, packed full of flavour. Now top them. And that, for me, it's almost like being back in Paris. except this time, I don't have to share them with the French.
My ultimate big and bold breakfast. Merguez and fontina stuffed croissants, a great way to start the day.
Never be scared of trying new flavors in your cooking. A few key ingredients can make all the difference. Here's a closer look at some I'll be using later.
Peppercorns may be small, but whatever the color in terms of flavor, they're one of the heavyweights of the kitchen. With the exception of the pink type, all peppercorns are fruits from the same flowering vine. It's the stage at which they are harvested and how they are processed that determines their unique colors and taste. Today, I'll be using the fiery black and perfume pink types to add a big, bold punch to my pudding. For dinner, I'll be cooking duck, hugely popular in Chinese cuisine. This bird may be less meaty than a chicken, but its intense, rich flavor means the meat goes a long, long way. Wild or farmed, duck meat is packed with protein, vitamins and essential nutrients, and I'm going to slow roast one in my dinner dish of crispy roast duck with pancakes. Chilies are a fabulous ingredient, and one of my absolute favorites is the chipotle. Chipotles begin life as a green jalapeno pepper. The process of drying and smoking lends an intense smoky flavor to balance their spicy heat. Dried chipotles can be bought as a paste, powder, or whole, which is how I'll be using them in my big, bold lunch.
Chilies come in all shapes and sizes and heats and are used throughout the world. But if there's one cuisine that has really turned cooking them into an art form, it's Mexican. They're experts at building layer upon layer flavored with delicious chilies and spices. So, for my ultimate big and bold lunch, spicy Mexican soup. It's hearty, delicious, robust, but served with some tortillas and a wonderful salsa. It's almost like a complete meal in one.
Starting with some finely chopped red onions for my soup.
Let's get some heat going early. These are chipotle, so they're smoky, rich. They don't come with any warning signal, and these are seriously hot. So be adventurous, but beware. A nice teaspoon of toasted cumin, oregano, dried. Now start frying off the spices, the heat. You'll see the chilies start swelling up. Delicious. Garlic. Be quite generous on the oil because that helps to blow out the chili. Right now, those onions and garlic are on fire. We're going to balance the sort of heat from the chipotle with sugar. Turn up the heat and really start caramelizing that sugar and the chili. Gives off the most amazing aroma.
Next, fry up a tablespoon of tomato puree. Add a can of chopped tomatoes, cooked kidney beans, and vegetable or chicken stock to cover.
There's something quite exciting about big and bold flavors, because in the restaurants you have to be somewhat controlled. You can't go crazy. So cooking these kind of dishes at home gives me that kind of release.
Chilies, particularly when they're dried, continue to swell and release their heat as they're cooked. So the longer you cook your dish, the hotter it will be.
But it's not as powerful as it needs to be yet. And every 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, that's going to get stronger, hotter, and more delicious. Bring that up to the boil and cook that out for 15 minutes.
Whilst I allow the chili heat to infuse, I'm going to crack on with quick, crunchy tortilla chips and a fabulously fresh and spicy tomato salsa, known in Mexico as pico de gallo. Start by finely dicing 3 ripe tomatoes, 1 or 2 deseeded fresh jalapeno peppers, and half a red onion. Then chop a good handful of fresh coriander, add the juice from 2 limes, salt and pepper, and a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. For the tortilla chips, rub a little olive oil onto 6 large shop-bought wheat wraps. Sprinkle with smoked paprika and gently massage in. Cut each wrap into triangles and spread them onto a baking tray. Bake for 3 to 4 minutes in a preheated oven at 180 degrees until golden brown and leave to cool. To complete my Mexican lunch, I need to finish my deliciously fragrant spicy soup.
The spice is there. It is absolutely spot on. Now for the cooling down process.
The Mexicans are brilliant at building layer upon layer of flavour with delicious chilies and spices. But they're also experts at tempering their dishes with cooling ingredients like avocado, sour cream and cheese.
That's why you can take that amount of chili, you've got that spoon of richness, spice, and all of a sudden, the avocado's almost like a little fire blanket over those chilies.
To further counter the chili heat, Mexicans use a rich, tangy, crumbly cheese, but I'm sprinkling on Lancashire, which is a great British substitute. And last but not least, cooling fresh coriander.
One delicious, spicy Mexican soup. Serve that with your tortilla chips and your pico de gallo salsa. A phenomenal blend of textures and layers and spice and creaminess. Big, bold, and delicious. Megan.
Next on the menu is dinner. And my eldest daughter, Megan, proves she's a chip off the old block.
Oh, fast. Huh? Watch your fingers.
I am.
With one of her favourite dishes, crispy roast duck with pancakes and a big, bold black bean dipping sauce.
Ollie, I think you need a bit more duck in there.
And my spiced banana tart tatin proves that teenage girls can be just as mad about food as they are about boys.
Wow.
One of the secrets to making fantastic food at home is learning to be confident when you're using strong flavours. All dishes need to be balanced, but don't be afraid of using herbs and spices to make your cooking vibrant and exciting. Here's my ultimate big and bold dinner, a meal that demands to be taken notice of.
And helping me in the kitchen is my eldest daughter, Megan. Crispy roast duck with pancakes with the added kick of a black bean dipping sauce.
Megan, you gonna help with the duck, darling? Your favourite?
Yes, it is.
Now, how's your boyfriend?
Right, I'm going.
Come on! That woke you up, didn't it? So, what do you love most about duck?
The dipping sauce.
The dipping sauce.
I love that.
Let's get the duck in the oven first. So a little bit of salt in there, please. Then some pepper, thank you. Some spring onion, garlic, and ginger. Now, why do you think we pour that in there?
To season it and flavour it. How comes you put them in whole like that and not smaller?
It's going inside. We're not using it for sauce or anything, so it's just going to make it really nice. What are they? Star anise.
Star anise.
Put that in. So what happens as the duck roasts on the outside, it creates this really nice perfume, aroma inside. Tuck that in there. To get it spicy, rub all that Chinese spice
Yeah.
over. Almost like you're massaging. Good. Just make sure you get it all in. Even the little wings, you know, underneath there. Just like I used to do to you in my bath. I used to wash your little handies. I know, those days are long gone. I know. It's your dad. Right.
Long gone.
That is seriously spicy. With the duck, there's generally quite a lot of fat there.
Yeah.
So we're going to put it on this little bench, OK? And that goes there. By slowly roasting it, OK, it's going to get nice and crisp on the outside. All that fat is going to render inside the breast, so therefore it's going to get all nice and juicy.
Yeah.
Right, duck's in.
3.5 hours at 160 degrees Celsius.
Your favourite part, you said, was the...
Dipping sauce.
Why is it your favourite part?
I think it really adds to the duck and makes it really tasty.
Seeing as it's your favourite, you can make it. I'm going to do nothing, OK? Daddy's going to put his feet up. So, first off, the garlic. There's one. Good girl. Watch your fingers, please.
Always do.
Good. Nice. Oh, you're fast. Huh? Watch your fingers.
I am.
Watch your fingers. Slow down. Please.
14.
Right, that's enough. Right, little teaspoon of olive oil. In a few years' time, I'm going to be teaching you how to drive as well as cook. How exciting is that, you and I in a car?
Scary thought.
OK, garlic in.
Crispy duck is traditionally served with hoisin sauce, but my brood love the additional big, bold punch of black beans.
Nice.
Megan and I add soy sauce. And lastly, for that classic Chinese sweet and sour element, brown rice vinegar and honey.
You happy with the flavour?
I'm really happy. You can taste everything in there.
Dipping sauce done. Duck's in the oven. Let's start the dessert. The most amazing tartatan.
Are those pink peppercorns?
They are pink peppercorns.
They're really good. They
Are
don't
they?
taste anything like
No.
black peppercorns.
Quite sweet, aren't they?
They're really sweet, very fruity.
The pink peppercorns give it the sweetness. The black peppercorns give the heat. Now, what is that, baby?
Vanilla.
This is one of the easiest desserts in the world to make, but one of the most delicious. It's a sort of take on the classic apple or pear tartan, but when you caramelize those bananas with the peppercorns and the vanilla.
I bet that tastes amazing.
Oh my goodness, incredible. Okay, we're gonna make the caramel. Start off with the cold pan first, and you just press that butter in there.
How comes you do it like that and not let it just melt naturally?
Because I want the butter to stay cold, because I'm gonna stick the bananas in there.
Okay.
And then we'll make the caramel and caramelize the bananas at the same time.
Okay.
So in goes those
Vanilla.
vanilla seeds. Pods in there as well. Okay, peppercorns done?
Yeah, all done.
Good girl. Sprinkle them over that butter.
Just naturally.
Naturally, yeah. Nice. And then, look, just very carefully, sprinkle sugar over that.
You're doing them all the same size.
Roughly the same size. Wedge it into the butter. Well, do you know what? Want the bananas really caramelized. You just stop them between. If you cram them in like this, okay, it will stop them moving around. Nothing's moving,
Nothing is.
okay? So they're all wedged in there. Sprinkle the peppercorns on top of the bananas so you've got that flavour in the caramel and on the top and the bottom. Right, puff pastry.
Puff pastry is difficult and time-consuming to make, so I always buy ready-made when I'm at home. To get the best flavour and texture, go for the all-butter type and keep your pastry cold before using it.
And this is where it gets really exciting. You get your fingers and you just pinch the end, so you thin the end. If you can do that for me very carefully, you have to be quick because the heat of your fingers can melt the pastry.
How comes you do it, Dad?
Because we get it nice and thin so we can clip it underneath. Now, we take a spoon and what we do is lift up that banana and tuck it underneath. See, lift up
Like
the
a
banana.
parcel?
Like a parcel. And see the thin bits of pastry?
Yeah.
How easy it is to get it underneath.
Yeah.
And that's why you thin them out.
You do it so quickly.
Well, because I have to be quick, otherwise the pastry will melt. Notice how we're not using anything sharp, so we're not...
Would that cut the pastry if you...
That's right. See how locked down that is? Gas on. We'll start caramelising that. Those 3 little holes are so important. If we didn't put a hole in the
Cause
pastry,
air bubbles.
it will cause a lot of steam, so the pastry never cooks, it just goes really soggy.
Okay.
So, really important. The caramel's live now. We're working the caramel. Give it a little shake.
How can you see the caramel through the pastry?
And look what happens when it tilts.
Oh, yeah.
See? All comes running down. See?
Yeah, now I see.
Now that pastry, okay, is like clinging on to the bananas. And so when we turn it upside down, we've got this glove full of these caramelized bananas. Look at that.
Wow. It looks like...
Look-a-locky? Look-a-locky? Ah, look-a-likey. Got you now, baby.
You're so
Look-a-locky.
annoying.
I'm so annoyed, isn't it? It's your birthday soon. 15. I've just worked it out. On my 50th, you're 18.
Perfect. We should do a joint party.
Yeah, love it.
12 to 4 for the old ones.
12 lunchtime.
Lunchtime till 4 for the old ones so they can go to sleep.
Megan,
And
please.
then we'll go on later.
Come on.
Perfect.
This is where I get excited now. Look at the colour of that caramel. So, tilt the pan again. See how dark it is now?
Yeah, wow, it's gotten a lot darker now. Didn't take long.
Didn't take long at all. That's nearly ready for the oven. But before I put that in, I'll get the duck out. Wow.
How's the duck going?
Crispy
Wow.
and delicious. See how crispy that is?
It's really crispy.
That's what happens when it slow cooks.
So, 20 minutes for the duck to rest and 20 minutes in the oven at 190 to 200 degrees for our banana tartatan. Time to knock up a quick hoisin and cucumber salad to put in our crispy duck pancakes. For the dressing, combine hoisin sauce, rice wine vinegar, soy sauce, a dash of sesame oil, and to give it that zingy Asian punch, some freshly grated root ginger. For the salad, trim and cut spring onions into very fine matchsticks. Peel a whole cucumber into long, thin ribbons. And shred in a couple of baby gem lettuces. Season and toss this fresh, crunchy salad in the sweet, yummy hoisin dressing. A combination that never fails to get the kids eating their greens.
Wow.
Look at that. So, see now where that pastry's caramelising.
Caramel, so dark.
And just a little tip. Gas back on, and that will release it. Because if you tip it and it's still sticking, then some of your bananas will stick. Yeah. So now, see when it starts spinning around like that?
It's moving around
It's moving around. And here we are, the moment of truth. When you know your daddy is the best chef in the world. Ready?
Yeah. Wow. Look at the vanilla.
How delicious
It
is
looks
that?
amazing. It
Isn't
smells really good as well.
Right, time to stand out. Duck, crispy, dipping sauce. Cucumber salad ready. So if you take them and your dipping sauce.
Take them over.
Thank you. I'll take the duck.
Don't drop it.
Promise. Oh. Okay.
It's amazing.
My ultimate big and bold dinner of crispy roast duck with pancakes, with a hoisin dressed salad and some extra oomph from Megan's favourite black bean dipping sauce.
You lose the arm? Nice. Ollie, I think you need a bit more duck in there.
You hungry, Home?
Honestly, it's like a black burrito.
Funny, Dad.
And for a big and bold pudding, delicious spiced banana tart tatin.
Jack's gonna be so upset. Can I have a little bit?
Isn't he?
I think we might have to save him some. Swimming makes him very hungry.
Let's save him a wishbone of a duck.
That's me.
To collect selected recipes from the show, go to my scrapbook at channel4.com/Gordon. Next time, the dishes your mum used to make, made over.
Now, this is a eaten mess with a twist. We're going to freeze it.
As we reinvent some of the time-honoured classics.
Sorry, but I can't resist. Who would have thought egg and soldiers could be that delicious?
Tonight, a boy with bags of potential causing a bit of mischief gets the attention of the teachers. The penultimate episode of Educating Yorkshire is at 9. Next up, Jamie's 15